For this study, I dedicated a full page of illustrations to different species and cultivars of Galanthus, commonly known as snowdrops. I aim to create a composition that evokes the charm of vintage botanical plates while also experimenting with the subtle variations in form found across the genus. Snowdrops may appear delicate and simple at first glance, but when studied closely, their differences in petal shape, markings, and growth habit offer rich visual interest, including both wild species and named cultivars allowed me to explore this diversity and present a more complete picture of the snowdrop's elegance and range. What draws me most to snowdrops is their quiet, understated beauty. There's something so graceful and poetic in the way they bow their delicate white heads toward the ground, often while everything else is still bare and cold. Visually, they're full of design inspiration, the elegant symmetry in their petals, the subtle green markings on the inner tepals, and the way they catch the soft winter light all make them perfect reference points for visual design. I can imagine them inspiring everything from architecture of a quiet forest dwelling culture to motifs in costume or jewelry design. Most of the flowers look like they can be the perfect fit as fairy skirts. Their forms are both simple and sophisticated, and they seem to hold a sense of mystery and symbolism, which is exactly the kind of detail I love weaving into imaginative worlds. Snowdrops may look fragile, but they're also tough and persistent, just the kind of contrast that makes for compelling storytelling. Snowdrops hold a powerful symbolic value rooted in their early bloom and delicate appearance. Often seen as one of the first signs of spring, they represent hope, renewal, and the quiet strength that comes with perseverance. Their ability to push through frozen ground and emerge while snow still lingers make them a symbol of resilience and the promise of brighter days ahead. Traditionally associated with the purity and transition, snowdrops have long been linked to spiritual and seasonal cycles. In the Victorian language of flowers, they convey the message of optimism and the return of life after hardship, making them meaningful not only for their beauty but also for the deeper emotional and symbolic weight they carry. One of the most fascinating aspects of snowdrops is the dedicated community they have inspired. These delicate flowers are celebrated each year in special snowdrop gardens where they bloom in vast, striking carpets of white, drawing in crowds of visitors eager to witness their quiet beauty. What makes this even more interesting is the presence of galantophiles, enthusiasts who are deeply passionate about snowdrops. These individuals often collect rare and unique cultivars, some of which may only survive in specific gardens due to ideal conditions. Galantophiles range in age and background, united by their shared appreciation for the subtle charm of these early spring flowers. In places like the UK, groups such as the Cottage Garden Society even organize regular visits to snowdrop gardens, highlighting how a simple woodland plant has grown into a beloved symbol of seasonal change and sparked a devoted subculture of collectors and admirers. Snowdrops are small, delicate plants known for their two narrow leaves and a single nodding white flower made up of 6 petal-like tepals arranged in 2 whorls. The inner tepals are smaller and often marked with green. These early bloomers typically flower in winter before the spring equinox, though some species can bloom in early spring or late autumn. Snowdrops have been recognized since ancient times, with the earliest known description dating back to the 4th century BCE by the Greek botanist Theophrastus. While they are sometimes mistaken for snowflakes, which belong to different genera, snowdrops are distinct in form and habit. Most species prefer woodland habitats with either acidic or alkaline soil, though some are adapted to grassland or mountainous regions. They spread easily by producing bulb offsets and seeds, often forming naturalized drifts near human settlements or old monastic sites. However, several species face threats in the wild due to habitat loss, illegal collecting, and climate change. All Galanthus species are protected, restricting international trade without permits, even for hybrids and cultivars. Only 3 species are allowed limited exports from Turkey and Georgia. Despite conservation concerns, snowdrops remain highly popular ornamental plants. Millions of bulbs, including both wild collected and cultivated, are traded each year, particularly from Turkey and Georgia. This page of snowdrop illustrations was such a peaceful and rewarding study for me. Even though these are simple little flowers, I felt like I learned a lot by just observing their forms more carefully, playing with the subtle variations, and also reading about them. It was fun to imagine how different cultivars could fit into different environments or stories. I think I'll definitely be returning to snowdrops again in the future, maybe for a more detailed piece or to create forest creatures or fairies based on their design. For now, this was a lovely way to just enjoy the process of drawing something quiet and delicate. So I hope to see you in another nature study.